Do you like to deadlift, or maybe deadlifts show up in your workout routine, but when you set up to the bar, it's just not that easy to get into that nice straight back position? Maybe you look something like this, where your back is rounded and your low back starts to bother you. Well, if that's you, let's double tap the screen right here. Let's double tap right here. If that's not you, let's tag a friend who looks like that when they set up for deadlifts. And one of the big things that can cause that is limitations in your hip flexion. So hip flexion is this movement. All we're doing is flexing at the hip. But that's the exact same thing as this. Hip flexion, flexing at the hip. And it could just be the way your body's made. It's your anatomy. So let's check what your anatomy looks like. So let's hit the floor. So we're going to lay down on our back. Whoops. Lay down on our back and keep both legs straight. And now we're going to bend one knee up. Grab with both your hands. And now you're just going to pull your knee to your face. And what I want you to concentrate on is make sure you're really concentrating on what your hip is doing. So watch my hip. So I'm going to pull, and I can start feeling like I'm running out of space in my hip right now. And now watch my hip. It starts to round and tuck under. It's like pulling my whole body up, my whole leg. So for me, I don't have the greatest hip flexion. You at home, you might be able to bring your knee to your face and your whole pelvis and hip and low back stay flat on the ground. And that means it's probably easy for you to get into that position. So let's stand back up. So for someone like me who might have limitations in my hip flexors because I'm a little bit taller, I have long legs, it's a little bit tougher for me to get into a traditional barbell deadlift. So what can we do is modify this position. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now with a snap of a finger. And now all I did was just raise up the bar 6 inches, and it's going to give me a little bit more space to work with, and it's probably going to be a little bit easier for my back to be in a straighter position. So let's go down, and now my back can stay nice and straight, and I can pull. And that's sometimes why doing traditional versus doing sumo squats, some people prefer sumo squats just because their hip flexion isn't the greatest, so they like to go wide and really sink down. Kind of buys them a little bit more space. So hopefully you guys learned something today. And if you like this video, make sure you like it, comment down below, and then tag a friend who has a bad setup position for the deadlift.